Let's move on to another story. I want to talk a little bit now about Just Stop Oil, because, I mean, sorry, I am laughing at this. I mean, I have interviewed Just Stop Oil on a number of occasions. They often have sort of ludicrous names like Indigo Rumbelow and Alex de Koenig, who told my producer to go F himself, which he later apologised, which was very good of Alex to do that, but I'll never interview him again. Olive, sporting pink hair, told Just Stop Oil eco-zealots that they were too white and middle class. They were living in a student bubble and had to attract more people who were not like them or they would die out. Scarlett, what do you make of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, she's right, isn't she? I mean, the bigger thing about Just Stop Oil is they've failed. I mean, what they should be doing is persuading people that they're right.
Correct.
And instead what they're doing is persuading people to get really cross with them. And, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, my son is a bit of a zealot, loathes Just Stop Oil. I mean, both my kids say it's just not doing any good. You shouldn't be stopping people to go to work. And because they are white middle class and live in their bubble, as she says, because a very brave Daily Mail reporter, infiltrated a meeting, but because of that, they don't actually think what it's like not to be able to go to work, I mean, what they need to do is they need to think, how do we persuade people to take the climate seriously and actually do something, not punish people and sort of, grandstand. They say otherwise they wouldn't get any publicity, to be fair.
But the publicity just makes me like them less and makes me less likely to listen to them, because all I know them for is people who block roads, as you say, glue themselves to roads and make sure that various paintings and so on are not. I mean, we're talking about them now, we're talking about their aims, of course, but we're mainly talking about their methods, Charlie.
When it comes to Just Stop Oil and similar organisations, the only thing that is worth saying, in my opinion, is the fact that these are people who think of themselves as radicals. They think of themselves as rebels. They think of themselves as fighting the system, yet they don't stop and think about the fact that all of their opinions, not just on the climate, but on everything else, align perfectly with all of the sort of centres of power in our society, whether it's the government itself, the universities, the media corporations, the multinational corporations or anything else. They are walking in absolute lockstep with those companies, and yet they think they're fighting the power. They think that they are fighting for the for the downtrodden.
Scarlett,
I think that's a bit unfair, actually. I mean, I don't think they work. I absolutely agree with their aims, and I have to say, if, like me, you were walking in Switzerland yesterday morning and I said, oh, well, obviously...
Were you thinking of calling an election, Scarlett? That's what I wonder about.
I was, but I mean, and what... So I was walking there, absolutely, and I said to my friend, oh, well, obviously there's never any snow here. And she said, oh, no, this was where we all used to snow, and Easter hasn't even happened. I mean, in Switzerland, they know there is a climate emergency and they're doing things about it. We need to do things about it, but Just Stop Oil.
Well, you believe there's a climate emergency.
The
I personally don't, Scarlett, but at the same time,
Right.
I think what we do agree on is that you've got to persuade people rather than cajole them, just shout at them, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually talking about whether or not the climate emergency is something that's real. I'm talking about the fact that these are people who are being duped into being the unwitting foot soldiers of the regime, like the power structure, and they don't think they are. They think that they are fighting the power, and I just think that's really funny.